Welcome back to RamZland. Today I want to show you how to make golden pennies. Check this out. All I'm using in this investigation is my metric scale, some pennies, my hot plate, 100 milliliters of distilled water, some sodium hydroxide, and some zinc powder. Begin by measuring 3 grams of sodium hydroxide and add that to 100 milliliters of distilled water. Next, you want to measure about 5 grams of zinc powder. Heat up your hot plate to 75 degrees Celsius. Once your solution of sodium hydroxide is aqueous, you're going to add it to your Petri dish on the hot plate. So now you've got a solution of sodium hydroxide and zinc that's on your hot plate. Now it's time to add your pennies. Don't add all of your pennies to your zinc sodium hydroxide mixture, but keep a couple for contrast. When your pennies are in the solution, you can stir them around as they're heating. And you want to let that zinc powder thoroughly coat all of your pennies. As we heat this solution, the reaction that's happening right now between the sodium hydroxide and the zinc is called sodium zincate, or sodium zinc oxide, which is an ionic bond. Okay, so at this point, it's been about 20 minutes and we're going to start taking our pennies out of solution and we're gonna put them in this glass with water over here. We're just gonna rinse them over here. And our copper pennies now should look like silver pennies after we rinse them off. And we're gonna put them on that filter paper next to the copper pennies so you can really see the contrast. But I'm just gonna rinse some of these a little bit with my finger. Just kind of rinse that off. And you can see there's a silver penny now. That is zinc coating. I'm gonna put that over here and you can compare that to our copper pennies. Again, I'm just kind of rinsing it in this water bath. Get any of the chunks of zinc off. So you can see how silvery it is. There's that bright silver luster on our penny now, as it's coated in zinc. There's another one. Check that out. It's a silver penny. That zinc has a really bright silvery luster. And you can definitely see the difference between the zinc penny and the penny that's plated in copper there, electroplated in copper. They're very, very noticeable difference. So again, you can just really see the contrast between the pennies that are coated in zinc now versus the pennies that are electroplated with copper. Now this is where the real fun begins. We're gonna put these zinc pennies back on the hot plate and we're gonna watch them turn to gold. Check this out. You want to increase the temperature of your hot plate up to 200 degrees Celsius before you put your pennies, your silver pennies, on the hot plate. Okay, this is my favorite part. Here's one of our silver pennies. You can see how silvery it is. We're gonna put it on the hot plate. We're gonna watch it slowly turn yellow. Is it really turning to gold or is something else happening? Watch that penny as it slowly changes color. You can see it in the middle of the penny. It's starting to change. Get a little closer. If you look right around here in the center of it, you can really start seeing it change. It's turning more and more yellow. Look at that. What is happening to our penny? Is it turning to gold or is something else happening? Now, once your penny has turned completely yellow, then you want to put it back in your water dish and rinse it and put it on some filter paper to compare to your other pennies. So I'm going to take it off, look over here and rinse it. I'm going to put it next to my other pennies and look how different it looks. Look at that. Is it gold or is it brass? What really happened here is we fused copper and zinc. About 60% copper, about 40% zinc creates the alloy known as brass. Look at that. It looks like a golden penny. Just amazing. Let's try a few more. Here's another zinc penny. We're gonna put it on our hot plate and watch it change as that copper and zinc fuse together to create the alloy yellow brass. Keep watching. Look around the middle of the penny for it to start changing color. Keep watching. I can see it turning right now. Right around Abraham Lincoln's beard, it's starting to turn yellow. Look at that. Still turning yellow. It's as though that copper is migrating up through the zinc as it mixes to create brass. Look at that. It's almost all yellow now. Just amazing. Okay, when you think that your penny is completely yellow, then you can take it out and put it in your water bath over here. Rinse it for just a minute. And then put it on your filter paper so you can contrast it with your silver pennies and your copper pennies. Look how yellow it is. Just amazing. So we didn't really make golden pennies, but rather we created the alloy known as yellow brass, which is about 60% copper, 40% zinc. Remember that this is a physical change. It's not a chemical change because both the copper and the zinc maintain their individual properties. So what's going on in this reaction is you first added zinc powder to sodium hydroxide in an aqueous solution, and that created sodium zincate. Now, when you put the copper in that solution, the copper on the penny reduces the sodium zincate into metallic zinc, and that's how you have your silver penny at first. It had that bright silvery luster because it was coated in zinc. Then when you add your copper with the zinc and you heat it, then that creates that brass alloy that's 60% copper and 40% zinc. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's edition of RamZland, and I'll see you next time.